Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Subject Computer Science for 12th Standard Year Section. Last class we completed chapter 13. Now in this session we are going to start a new chapter, chapter number 14. Importing CS plus C++ programs in Python Part 1. In this session we are going to cover the following topics. Number 1, Introduction. 2, Scripting language. Applications of scripting language. Features of Python over C++. Importing C++ files in Python. Let's start our class. Introduction. Of course, Python and C++ are general purpose programming language. However, they have some quite differences. Number 1, between Python and C++ difference is Python is typically a interpreted language, whereas C++ is a compiled language. What is interpreted? It means you can see that whenever you write a Python program, the program will execute one by after interpreting, that is translating line by line instructions, whereas C++ programs are translated from source code to machine language overallly. That means all the files, all the programs are converted overall way and form into a source file. Whereas in Python, each and every line is compiled. So that is called interpreter and compiler. So interpreter translate the source program into object program line by line, whereas C++, that is compiled program, convert the source file program instructions into a machine understandable language overall. Second point is Python is dynamic language, whereas C++ is statical language. Number 3, here in Python we don't require to declare any data type. Without declaring any data type explicitly, we can use it in Python, whereas C++ we should mention the data type for each and every variable or constant. Without mentioning the data type, we are unable to use that variable or any constant. 4, it can act both as a scripting and general purpose language, that is Python. In C++, it is a general purpose language only. So this is the 4 important difference between Python and C++ language. Next, the important feature of Python is Python language is just like a glue language. It means uh, the top level programming mostly calls routines written in C or C++. This is useful when the logic can be written in terms of existing code. For example, a program written in C++ but can be called and manipulated through Python programs. So we can call C++ program in Python, but we cannot call Python program in C++ because Python is a general purpose language as well as a uh, as well as a scripting language. By using a scripting language, we are using the C++ program, we are calling the C++ program, that is routines. Routines may be called as functions, it may be called as constructor, it may be called as program. So these routines can be called, that is C++ routines can be called in Python, and we can use the power of C++ with the feature of Python. So in this lesson we are going to learn this important feature of Python. Next topic is scripting language. What is scripting language? This language is otherwise called as designed for integrating and communicating with other programming language. So the important feature of scripting language is to integrating and communicating with other programming languages. So this is called as scripting languages. Some of the mostly wide scripting languages are JavaScript, VBScript, PHP, Perl, Python, Ruby, ASP and TCL. Since scripting language is normally used in conjunction with another programming language, they are often found alongside HTML, Java or C++. So scripting language may be called as glue. Glue means attaching two different programs. In the same way, conjunction is a tool which used to connect two important parts of programming. that is which we discuss here in scripting language. So scripting language may be called as conjunction programming or glue language. Next, the difference between scripting and programming language is scripting language do not require compilation step by step or rather interpreted. For example, normal C++ program need to be compiled before running, whereas a scripting language need not to compile. So without compiling, we can run the C++ we cannot run the C++ program, but without compiling, we can run the scripting language. Scripting language requires an interpreter, while a programming language requires compiler. Of course, we already discussed this point. So scripting languages require interpreter, and programming languages or general purpose languages are require compiler. Next one is application of scripting language. Where we use the scripting language? Number one, to automate certain tasks in a program. Number two, extracting information from dataset. Here dataset refers to any database software like Oracle, SQL, MySQL, which we already discussed in the previous lessons. Next one, third point, less code intensive as compared to traditional programming languages. It means, for example, if you take a traditional programming language like C, C++ program, that program that programs compared to Python program or any scripting language programs are smaller than general purpose languages. For example, Python program is smaller, maybe 10 to 15 times smaller than C++ programming languages. Next one is can bring new functions to application and glue complex system together. So the important feature or important application of the scripting language is to glue, to conjunct two different program languages. Next one, Python is actually an interpreted high level general purpose programming language that can be used on any modern computer programming operating system. It can be used for processing text, number, images, scientific data, just about anything else you may save on your computer. Nowadays, large applications are written almost exclusively in Python. So this is the important application of scripting languages. Next one, the features of Python over C++. When we compare and Python and C++ program languages features, now here we can understand the features of Python programming languages. Number one, Python uses automatic garbage collection, whereas C++ does not. So it means automatic garbage collection refers to many pre-built programming languages and integration of GUI which are useful in Python, but in C++ we cannot use. C++ is a statical type language, while Python is a dynamic, which we already discussed. Now Python runs through an interpreter, while C++ require compiler. Python code tends to be 5 to 10 times shorter than C++. Python, there is no need to declare type explicitly, that is data type. In Python programming language, there is no need to declare any variable with the data type, but in C++ we should declare data type. Next, in Python, a function may accept any argument of any type and return multiple values without any kind of declaration beforehand. Whereas in C++, a return statement can return only one value. So this is the important difference. Python function can return more than one values, whereas C++ function return only one value. Python function cannot accept any value without data type, whereas C++ function cannot accept any values without data type with before declaring the data variables or arguments, whereas in Python functions can accept any value without data type without declaring previously. So these are the features of Python over C++. Now importing C++ files in Python. So how we can import C++ programs in Python programming? Importing C++ program in Python programming is called as wrapping. Wrapping means covering any product. For example, if you want to gift any product to anyone, then we purchase that gift and wrap the gift with a colorful papers with a wishes letter. In the same way, if we can use the C++ program and wrap that C++ program with Python. So wrapping or creating Python interface for C++ program are done in many ways. So there are many ways to wrap this Python with the C++ programming language. The first way is using Python CAPA. CAPA refers to Application Programming Interface for interfacing with the C program. So not only C++, we can also wrap the C program also with Python by using API feature, API software. Next one is C types. It is also interfacing with C program. Next one is WIG, simplified wrapper interface generator. Both C and C++ languages can be wrapped using this switch software in Python. Next one is Cython. Cython is both a Python-like language for writing C extensions files. That is, by using Cython, we can write C program as well as C++ program in Python language. That is the special of this special for software Cython. Next one is a Boost Python. It is also useful. This type of software is useful in a framework for interfacing Python and C++. The last but not least, the important software is MinGW. MinGW means minimalist GNU for Windows. So in our syllabus, we are going to use this MinGW. We can install the MinGW by following the steps referred in your textbooks in the last page number 325 in the annexure 3, where the detailed steps for downloading and installing MinGW is described. Follow that installation steps and downloading steps from annexure 3 from your textbook and download MinGW in your system. After installing the MinGW interface in your system, you can use the C++ program and Python, and we can glue the Python and C++ programs. Now we are going to see how we can use the MinGW software. And what is the use of MinGW software? MinGW refers to a set of runtime header files used in compiling and linking the code of C, C++, Fortran to be run on Windows operating systems. So MinGW W64 version 64 is the best compiler for C++ on Windows. To compile and execute the C++ program, you need G++ for Windows. MinGW allows to compile execute C++ program dynamically through Python program using G++. Next one, the Python program that contains the C++ coding can be executed only through MinGW W64 project run terminal. The run terminal open the command line window through which Python program should be executed. So after installing the MinGW software, we can open the MinGW software by clicking the icon, and we can run the Python as well as C++ program simultaneously in the command prompt. So in this topic, executing C++ program through Python, we are going to discuss. So first install the MinGW software W64 from the internet. After downloading, install the software, follow the instruction given in annexure 3 in your textbook, and then follow this step. How to execute a C++ program in through Python. Number one, double click the run terminal of MinGW. So you can see a folder, a window is displayed. That window is command line based window where where you can go to the any location of the system. So consider there was a Python software installed in a system in the folder C drive program files and open Office 4, and within the open Office 4 there was a Python for software. Consider this is the location where the exact Python software is installed in a system. It depends upon the system installation folder. It may vary. So after selecting the required path, go to the command prompt and type the commands cd space absolute path, the absolute path of the Python. So here is the example. Depending upon system, it may vary. So first check your Python software's location. After that, using that location, type the path here. So here cd is a command line. Command refers to change directory, and absolute path refers to the complete path where Python is installed. After typing the above command, the cd command, to execute our program, double click the run terminal, change the path to the Python folder location. Here you can type the command python space filename dot py, and with the option mode option, that is -i, and type the C++ file name without C++ extension. So now you can see the output of Python as well as C++ program in the window. So this is the how we are going to use this program. So I will show a small demo. So go to the uh, after downloading the MinGW, you may see the command like structure in your screen, which is appearing now in the screen. See, this is the structure of the command prompt. In the same way, MinGW window also appeared. So here what we want to do, first try to locate the, so type to cd www dot dot cd dot dot, it removes from the first from the current folder to next folder. So here type the dir command, and here you can see all the folders installed in your system. So see here python 3.4. So type the path cd space python 3.4, and uh, you should give the space between cd command and the path. Here there was a path python 3.4. So this is the path of my system. It depends upon the how, where, and install the python program. So here you can see the prompt is changed to the python 3.4. So here we can run the python program. For example, if you use the dir command, it will show the directory information report all the files which we created on the in the current location. See here, these are different files which are already created in the python program. So you can see that different lessons examples programs are here. So if you want to run this program, then type the command given in the syntax. See, is the syntax. So type python space python file name. I'm using this python file name 9.5 p 9.5, and space qd minus high, the read mode option, and after that the C++ file. So I already have a C++ file 9.1. After that, when you press the program, when you press enter key, you can see that was a output which will display on the screen. So here it shows some errors, but that is there was no file name with the extension 9.5 because we didn't mention the py. So here you can see the Python output. In the same way, you can also see the 9.1 output also, the C++ program output also, when you run the same command in MinGW window. So follow this instruction and execute the command, and learn how to execute C++ program through Python. So this is the end of the lesson. I hope you understand this concept, importing C++ program in Python. We will continue this lesson in the next class. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. If you have any doubt, call me. Clear all your doubts. Prepare well for examination. Best of luck.